What if I told you that you could charge local businesses up to $1,500 setup fees and $500 retainers just selling websites? But these aren't your basic websites that most businesses already have. These combine AI, automation. The idea is that they generate consistent leads, nurture those leads into customers for your clients. I like to call this new type of site a smart website. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to build and sell these smart websites and the exact step-by-step process you can use to make a bunch of money helping local businesses implement them. But first, what even is a smart website? And to answer that, let's look at your basic everyday site. Okay, so I've Googled open up just to show you some local websites. And let's open some up. So I'll go to the first one and I'll see that's not even a website. And let's go to another one. And this one you can see it really doesn't really have much SEO or easy ways to capture forms or capture leads. This one also the same issue. I don't know where I would contact them. We don't know what all this real estate is doing, right? Etc. Same thing. And we can see this a lot, right? So contrast that with something like this. So you see this one, I've worked with these guys before, where you can see they literally have this phone number, which I click, it'll automatically call them. They have all these different articles that'll make them rank on Google. They have this little text box. So if I'm lazy, I can get them. They make it very clear so I can contact them, right? So this is an instance of something that works. So to summarize, we actually just looked at a couple different sites and we can tell then these companies don't actually rank on Google. They're not very informational and they're very bad at capturing leads and it literally looks dated. So to fix that, we want to make sure we address that common trend and have articles so you rank on Google and have a lot of ways to capture leads. You'll see there's many ways and make sure it looks a lot better and is more intentional. Okay. So what does this mean? So this means in literally just a Google search, we found several websites that suffer from this dumb website syndrome where they're not informational, they're bad at capturing leads and they look terrible, which means they're perfect candidates for us to pitch our services. And it's very easy to find these kind of websites and these kind of companies all across America. All right, cool. So we looked at a couple dumb websites, but what is a smart website? I'll give you a couple examples from myself and some of my clients that this worked for. So I'll show you this. So what is a smart website, right? A smart website basically has good SEO, it's optimized to capture leads, and it's modern look and feel. So this is more so for agency and SaaS, because if we're the one pitching, we probably need to have a good website for ourselves. So if you just maybe take a look at my website, it has the video, it has some cool little animations, easy ways to do lead capture. This is Andrew's one. I actually had an interview with him where he went from 0 to 15K a month using methods like these. And you'll see how he has a very easy lead capture where if you just hit book free demo, there's a really cool form. There's a voice assistant on his website that he has. And this makes it so that all these are checked. Okay, so now we just saw proof that not only does it work for me, but other people as well that work with us. The key message I'm trying to get across to you guys is making sure that we aren't selling AI, we're selling the results these companies will get, and we will use AI to do 80% of the fulfillment, right? It's so easy to literally go on Google and see these pamphlet type websites that people just go on and then leave. But if we just understand these small principles and the things I'm about to show you on how to build these and sell these, you're going to be good to go. Okay, so let's dive into the principles and tools we'll need to build out these smart websites, all right? And this is kind of your 1,000-foot view on what we need to get these things developed. And the first of all, we probably need something for SEO where Outrank really shines and it'll do a lot of this stuff on autopilot for you. And then the most important thing, which is capturing and nurturing these leads that we get, we can use tools like Booked AI and High Level. I'm pretty sure we give you guys, right here, some of these tools for free if you're in our community. And this is the newest one that I've been using a lot and loving, and it's called 21st Dev for that modern look and feel. What 21st Dev is basically a collection of really cool components. So when you're vibe coding or building these sites out with just prompts, you can do it by just copying and pasting. And you can treat it like Legos. So it's much easier when you're building these kind of modern sites and maintaining them, all right? You can see literally even Alex Hormozy says, this is his quote, like he spoke to a business owner who gets 100% of his leads within 60 seconds. And then his close rate is 55%. That's crazy. All because they call their leads within 60 seconds of signing up, and then their sales increased by 391%. Imagine using these tools to apply for these pamphlet type old businesses. They would probably make a lot more money and then be willing to give you a lot more, right? So that's what we're going to be building, making sure we get results for people. So we're actually diving into the build section of this video. And to understand what we're going to be building and why, I need to show you the anatomy of a high converting landing page. By the way, all of this material, I'll post it inside my free school community. So check that out if you guys want to follow along with it. All right. So in a high converting landing page, there's a couple different components that we should really take advantage of, which is the nav bar, where you can have your CTA all the time, making sure you have a clear social proof, something that builds trust with your user. If you have a screenshot or pictures, partners, this is all building trust. So you'll see we use these principles a lot, okay? And then if you're an agency or SaaS, it depends. You don't technically need all these features, but you should show what you're good at, why people would use you, how it actually works to engage with you. Pricing, you don't need if you're not a SaaS, and more testimonials and proof. And frequently asked questions is pretty normal, okay? So this is just a very high overview of what the sites we should be building should look like and what elements they should have to make sure we're always following the best principles and we're actually getting good converting results out of them, all right? So the reason I'm showing you this is because you'll see in 21st Dev, we can actually find the components of any of these things, right? For example, if I'm looking for a hero area, I can right here search for, I don't know, heroes, backgrounds, features. We've already gone over a bunch of this stuff, right? Pricing, etc. So all of this is just, well, we're literally using it like Legos, so we can copy and paste it. Like for example, even these buttons, AI chats, whatever. So these heroes are what we're probably going to be starting with. So you'll see we can copy any of these really cool looking heroes and then use them for our sites or whatever we built out. And they'll have all these really fancy animations and everything if you need. Now that you understand what the anatomy of a high converting landing page is, let's get into setting it up and how to build it. Okay, so naturally, step 2 then is to collect all the components we're going to be using and gather our Legos essentially, right? So we want to collect something like a nav bar, a hero, a partner section, etc. So that's the things we're going to be start to use. All right. So let's head over to 21st Dev and let me find a hero I like. All right. Let's say I like this one. Okay. And I like keeping myself organized by doing this. So I know what's going to happen. So I'm going to paste this here. And then boom, I'm also going to take a little screenshot. And this gives me a little preview of what we're going to be building even before we're done or we have to write any code or touch any piece of technology. So now what we need is something like a nav bar. So let's go to nav bar. Navigation menus. I like this one. Let's open this component. I'm going to copy this. Whoops. Maybe that pasted weird. But this looks like a nice little nav bar that we can use. You can see there's like things that scroll down. Okay, cool. This is just a visualization. So I'm just going to zoom forward on me finding stuff for this. All right. So this is just me showing you how to do the design, and I'll show you how to do and embed the bots later on as well. All right. So now that we have a bunch of this is just an example. I'm sure you guys can build really cool, big, beautiful sites, but this is technically all you need to know to build these sites. So I'm going to get started so you guys see something else that's pretty new. All right, now let's start building like the base skeleton version of the site, right? You can use a lot of different things, but I personally like using this thing called augment code, but I'm going to show you with Lovable because it's significantly easier, okay? So what you need to do is remember we like this one, right? So let's go to this component. What we're going to do is right here, it says copy prompt. And in this prompt type, you can use any ID that you want. But if you go to Lovable, you can copy it and then just paste it here. And then let's say, what should we write for the copy? Because of course you don't want the same text coming up. So let's think of some things we can write for the copy. Let's say this is something is, I don't know. Yeah, just to keep it fast. And then let's say we want to edit this thing right here. I'll show you how to do this later as well. But let's say bookedin.ai. I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. Subhead. I technically didn't need to do any of this stuff, but I'm just showing you guys here just to keep it organized. Make the copy like this. And then I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to wait. So this takes a while to spin up. And you see the whole prompt is pasted in, so it knows what to do. All right, this is cool. So you see it's completed. And now it says Booked in AI is intelligent and it has my little copy right here. Okay, now we want to add something like the nav bar, let's say, right? Oh, I messed up the nav bar. So let me go find this nav bar again. Did I not paste this here? Oh, I forgot to paste the nav bar. It's okay. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to go to nav bar, navigation menus. Let's say I like this menu. Open component, copy prompt, copying. Cool. And you can edit it as much as you want. Add this nav bar to the app. Okay. Now, while this nav bar loads, let me make sure I have everything else loaded. Okay, cool. So the nav bar is done. You see right here, there's a nav bar. Now let's add the feature section. And notice what I'm going to do here, all right? So bookedin.ai, I'm just going to go copy a bunch of stuff from here and be like, use this copy. And let me fix this right here and then just hit go. Okay. So one more thing I would probably want to do is when they say jump on a call, maybe if we hit this button, it's going to call me straight. Okay. So let's see. How do I do that? Go to ChatGPT. I want to hit a button and then I want it to call my number straight from the phone. How can I make a script or on a button click that'll handle that? This is my number. All I want to do is just put a little prompt inside Lovable so it knows to make a button call my number. Okay, cool. So we see this feature has started and it even made me some really cool graphics that I can switch by just doing this. See? So this is pretty cool. I like it. It's looking a lot more modern. You can see all of this stuff. So this is how you kind of edit copy, right? Let me see. So this came back with this. Okay. So right here, I want to show you this one feature where you see this thing edit. If I hit this jump on a call button, jump on a call. So what I'm trying to say is basically, I want this button to just call me. And then I'm going to hit go. So what I wanted to show you right there is this edit feature. And this makes it so that you can edit anything very easily, right? If you don't like this picture, if you want to change it up, you can just paste it inside here and then edit it, and you'll be good to go. All right. And this is actually the exact same process I used to create my website. And look at this right here. We added a bunch of this stuff here. It just takes a little bit of time for you to get used to at first, but this is literally it. You just copy, paste, and change. Now let me change this, and you see it literally says allow, and it makes me open FaceTime and calls me. So we have this as well. Okay, cool. So I want to show you a couple different things. Now that we have a site up and running, I want to show you how we can embed some lead capture on it. So this is just one form of very easy lead capture, but I want to show you actually useful ones. All right, guys. So now that we know how to kind of use the site and build it and edit it like Legos, I just want to move on really quick. And because this part is so important into setting up the lead capture. And there's a couple different ways to do lead capture, and I'm going to show you all of them because they're so easy and quick. All right. So first, we already just learned how to do the button to call straight. Now, I'm going to be showing you how to actually put a voice widget on your site and a chatbot as well. All right. And to build a voice widget, we're going to be using this because it's actually the easiest way to do it. And we can do two different things, but I'm going to be using the AI builder because it's easy. So what's your agent's name? Johnny Cap. Sure. Cool. And what's your company? Booked in. What type of business are you in? Lead conversion. Cool. What is the main goal of your agent? To qualify prospects coming in and answer their questions. Okay, let's just say this is for voice calls, for inbound. Boom, provide the conversation script. I don't have a script, but make it up from this website. Booked in. I'm just going to go copy a bunch of stuff. Common objections. Just help them. I'm going to paste this again. They're qualified if they know how to get leads and want to be converting them. They want to have a new AI offer and want to start selling this on their own. So I'm just making this up as I go. And I'm going to hit create agent. And this takes a little bit, so I'm just going to wait for that. All right, so you see it literally built out some prompts, some channel config, and let's save. Cool. Now that we just have that, let's build a website widget, right? So right now, we just built a website widget. We have to just go to voice and then go right here and then website widget, just click widget. And then right here, if you want to change the coloring and all this stuff, you can do so. I'm just going to leave it for now. But all I'm going to do is copy this. I'm going to go back into Lovable and then be like, embed this on the site and then paste this in and then boom. Let's wait for this. Okay, so Lovable is done. Now let's just test it out. All I have to do is click it and then ask me about this stuff. And then if you guys can hear that, hello?
Hey there, thanks for calling Booked In. I'm Sarah. I see you're interested in learning more about our AI.
Yeah, what do you do?
Platform. Is that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Before I dive into how we can help, I'd love to understand.
Shut up, Sarah. Okay. So now you see we kind of just have a widget in our site that's ready to capture these kind of leads. And we should be able to see them inside these leads right here, all the conversations, etc. after they load. For example, right now I didn't put my name, so it's probably that. But anyways, let's say we want to make sure it's booking to our calendar. We could just go in, we can just hit Google Calendar, install it, and it's just one click where you will just sign in with your Google account. I'm already signed up, so after you hit that, you will see in your agents, where is Johnny Capture? In channels right here, we should have these tools. So you'll see a bunch of these tools. For example, right here, Google Calendar MCP tool. After you add one of that, you should be able to book it into your calendar. But I don't want to get too in the weeds. Right now, let's set up different forms of capture, all right? Now, we also just added a voice capture on our site. Cool. Now, let's move on to the chatbot. All right, so let's try to set up a chatbot. So I'm going to show you, not with Booked In this time, although that's a little easier. I'm going to show you with high level. Okay, so let's go to high level And where you want to go first is this thing called AI agents. And in conversational AI, you want to create your first conversational AI agent. And let's say it's a general Q&A bot. You just hit save, boom. And then you can train it with a bunch of your data, right? You can select a knowledge base or create one right here. And the bot goals, etc. You can put this all stuff in, all right? Then what you want to do after you have this created is you're going to go to sites. You want to go to chat widget right here. And then you hit new chat widget. So you can select any of these. I'm going to just select all in one. And then you see, boom. Hi there, you have a question. And then you'll see there's like a lead capture right here, which you can attach. So what you want to do is you want to hit get code. You want to copy this. You're going to go back to Lovable. And then this is, you can use either or. It's up to you. I'm just showing you how to do all of them. Embed this. And then you can say that, and then it will start embedding it. Okay. So you can see it's a bit problematic when we have both of them. So we should probably space it out in different ways. Ideally, we don't have both of these at the same position, or we even have both because it gets a bit crowded. So what I want you to show you is just, you can always style, where did it go? Oh, there we go. You can always have it in different positions like that or that or that. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to keep it here. Save. Get code. Copy. Boom, boom. Can you move this widget a bit more up? And I'm going to paste that code in. Yeah, you don't, when you're making small changes, the LLM is smart enough that it's just going to understand what you want from it. So it's just going to move it up. Right now, this is just stylistic errors. Style can be fixed in a lot of different ways by going into these and then just talking to Lovable. So I'll leave that for now. So let me get on to something that's more important, because right now you can see how you can just get these lead captures on the way, etc., and start nurturing them, right? But the biggest form of lead capture, and this is the most important one, I will say, is form submit to call, right? So for the form submits, we need to have a form, and then we need to make sure we're getting these calls, right? So to do that, I actually want to show you this one thing. A lot of people, for forms, they use this thing called Typeform. But I want to make sure you guys know this, where we don't want to be using Typeform. It's very expensive. They kind of like just monopolized a lot of stuff. And then you can use other things like uform or anything else like Go High Level Forms, etc., right? So let me show you uform. Boom. Log in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is create a new form. So creating a new form. Boom. Just new right there. I'm going to hit this plus right here. And then let's say I'm going to collect their contact information. And you can customize it however you like. Okay, cool. And let's try it out real quick. Okay, now I want to show you how, when people submit this form, you can straight up call them or do things of the sort, all right? Cool. So let's just name this form. I don't know, speed to lead form. Boom. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to integrate, all right? And what we do is we hit this thing called webhook. And it's asking for a webhook, okay? And what a webhook is, essentially, is what uform is asking us is that, hey, someone just filled in their information. Where do I send it? Right? And that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so I'm going to go back into booked in, and we had my agents. I'm just going to go to this thing called strategies. I'm going to create a new strategy. Okay, and then I'm going to hit webhook. And then I'm going to hit this edit button. And then I'm going to copy this. And right here, oh, whoops, it's the wrong one. I'm going to submit this. Please submit a form to test once. Okay, open form to test. Okay, I need to publish this form. Let's go back to build. And how do we publish this? Let's publish this form. Okay, cool. And hopefully you guys see these live troubleshooting, and that helps. So we go back to booked in dashboard, and boom, submit it right here. Okay, open this form. We need to submit this once. Okay. All right. So that's the form. And let's try it now. So it should go here, webhook saved. Now that that's saved, let's go back to booked in. I'm going to hit this refresh button. There's nothing here. And you will see the payload. Cool. So the payload is basically uform just sent us all this information. And now our bot can learn about this information, right? So we can see right here, please fill in the following. So we're going to please fill in the following. And then we go to first name. And then we can do the first name. You can add whatever information you want. And the AI agent will know about all of it. So we made it that simple. And then you go to phone number, email, company. You don't need all of them. I'm not even going to put company then. So I'm going to save it. Okay. Now, right here, you see, let's call it speed to leads strat. Where's Johnny? Johnny capture, save. Okay, cool. I just had to delete that. Okay. Now I hit save. Cool. So now we have this. Then what we want to do is we probably want to call them or SMS them. There's a bunch of channels you guys can use. But right now, just to keep it simple, I'm going to show you guys this where you can just boom, call, and then hit save. Okay. And we're pretty much done. So if you had hooked up your calendar to this, then it would also just be booking into your calendar. So I want to tell you guys about one more thing. This is super important, all right? So I don't know if you guys are a fan of Hormozy, but I was showing you guys this where he calls a lot of these leads. The thing is, they don't just call them once like I'm showing you in that strategy because it's so simple to create. They actually have a crazy, formula in their lead nurture book that we kind of just build templates around and just give you guys inside Booked In. So that's just a sequence of calls, texts, emails, etc. that you can just go in and use. So maybe I'll show you an example. I want to make this like it a little better. So if you go to strategies, I think one of the templated strategies will also already be Hormozy. And then you'll see a lot of this stuff there. So you don't have to mess with it. And you can already use vetted, really good strategies from the start. All right. So regardless of that, what I wanted to make sure that you guys understand is these kind of understanding on how to use this tech is we're trying to make this easy for you. All right. So let me show you guys me filling up the form and getting a call now because we just built our strategy, we saved it, and we should be good to go. Okay, so now we know that whenever we fill out this form, it will call people, right? And we want to embed this form into our site. So to do that, all we need to do is go share and then hit this iframe embed. Okay, and then we copy this and then we paste it into Lovable. We create a new section and embed this form onto the site. Okay, and then we hit go. Okay, so now I think it's done. I'm just going to refresh just to be safe. Cool, let me scroll. And cool, you can see the U form pop up right here. And then when you submit this, it's going to call me like so. This is one way to do the form. And this is how we can get some really nice professional looking forms into our site. Okay, so we just put this form in our site. Now let me just fill it out with some random information. Johnny Island. This stuff I'll keep real just because I need it to call me. Okay, so I submitted this form. Now it should call me in like a minute or so. Just waiting for it to pop up. Okay, so you see I just got the email for the U form submission and immediately I got the call. So,
Hi, Johnny. Just saw you filled out the form for Booked In. Are you looking to improve lead conversion?
yeah. Okay, I'm not going to talk to this right now. But you see how I filled out the form and as Uform sent me the email, it automatically just called me. So that's a really cool way that we can actually get our lead capture super dialed in, where we are just calling people who fill up the form really quickly. Like how we had it in Hormozi's thing right here. All right. So let's say we have built a site that's pretty. Right now, maybe it needs a little bit of work. We have some lead capture, etc., all the stuff. If we want to publish it with Lovable, all you have to do is hit publish, and then you're good to go. It's that simple, and you can start charging people for their sites that quickly. You can also just edit the website address, add a custom domain, all this stuff. And that stuff is pretty easy too, where you can just add an existing domain, etc. But after you publish this, what we want to make sure, oh, let me check it out. Yeah, you see, it looks kind of cool. There's the widget here. You can play with the styling. So we just went through a lot and learned a massive chunk. So just to recap where we're at in this journey, we learned how to build these modern looking sites, why they're important, how to edit them, how to properly optimize like this high anatomy landing page, how to even add lead capture to the sites so the visitors are more likely to convert. But we still have to learn a bunch of other stuff, and let's start with how to make sure we templatize these so we can do this a lot quicker. Okay, so to templatize these, as an added bonus, I actually put this link for you guys where you can see there's a bunch of templates for sites that you can just, if you're lazy, you can just get up and running with it. So here, I'll show you an example. They look pretty nice, right? So you can just take these and start using them as a template. But I wanted to make sure that you know how to actually create these and why they work. So now that we know all that, let's dive into how to actually find customers willing to buy this. So, how do you actually find customers, right? And before we dive in, I want to show you some more proof. I want to make sure you know that, hey, I've done this a lot. It worked for me. I've done this for Andrew, and Andrew's been using it, and it worked for him. It worked for people I don't know, like Arthur, who just chose agency websites as a niche and then did it for them. The fact that this works is because this is always a need. And the thing is, it's because we can get AI to do 80% of the work and we don't need a team of designers, coders, and junior salespeople to get these results, right? So that's why this works. And to dive back in, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're searching for, if you're starting out, local businesses, and just look for people with these dumb sites. You want to look for plumbers, HVAC, landscaping, any of these. Just pick a niche and then try to make a mock site for yourself and them, understand the benefits, and then pitch them. But the thing is, how do you really structure the pitch, right? And that part is super important. So the pitch actually just starts with the pricing, right? And how we should price this is with this strategy. And I really love this approach and I've been using it a lot. And it's called the Trojan horse approach. The Trojan horse approach is you basically make them the site for free and then you sell them something on top like the nurturing, etc. What you want to do initially if you're new is just build case studies though. And then you can convert them into a paid clients once you can show results. Actually, it's the same as this thing right here. It's the attraction offer and then you upsell them and then you downsell them and you keep them recurring. It's the exact same thing as Hormozi pitches so much, right? And if you're experienced, you can charge a little bit of setup and then even have a monthly recurring fee, right? So the pitch on how you do it, though, is you don't just be like, hey, I can do this, let me do it for you, but you show their current leakage. If you can do this and go through their website with them and then show comparisons or contrasts with other websites and why they're better, you can literally show the math because people aren't converting everyone, right? If you just know the amount of website traffic someone's getting and see the amount of leads, you can make that math. So the way you justify your pricing is just by saying like one extra customer pays for the entire service, right? Who would be dumb to turn that down? And that's why when you ask and you can offer proof of results, you can use any of the proof I just showed you. And then the idea is you build the urgency and make them ask how you do this and how you can get started. Because mathematically, it just makes sense to do this. So why would they not? It was just impossible because you needed a lot of people before and now you don't, right? So the way you close is just position yourself as that you're getting experience building this if you're new, or this is a proven system because it kind of is. And after delivering the results, if you're new, that's when you can say something like, hey, we captured all these leads in 30 days. Do you want to keep this going? And then upsell them. You can basically convert them into a paid retainer on the spot and then have a new case study. If you're new, this is the most important. The key message is this, that you want to convey to them is like one recovered customer pays for everything. And it's pure profit after that. And if you can do this over and over, you have a very easy to run, well-structured business. And if you want any of the templates, it's in my community. I'll post everything. And if you need help building this out, I'm down to help you out as well. Okay, so we just went through a lot of stuff. And to recap it all, we went through how building a modern website without code, how to edit, how to optimize them, how to add lead capture, how to templatize, how to find customers, price, and sell. This is a massive process and it gets kind of involved. There's also a lot of other branches you can do and be creative with what you're selling or even using for your own business. So if you need any help or want the templates and this whole thing below, just hit the link below and you'll get all of it. All right. See you soon, guys.